What is going on, my beautiful people? Christian King here, again coming with a third installation for our Discord.js tutorialization. Today I'm going to do something very special for you guys. I'm going to show you guys how to host your bots. So by now, you could have realized that your bots stay inactive if you close out Visual Studio and um, your command prompt. So I'm just going to show you. Pretend that these were already closed. So what's going to happen is you worked on your bot, you did some stuff to it, opened it up, and you were like, oh heck yeah, man, I put in 2 hours of work, and I can say I feel your pain. So what we're going to do is, nope. So we just put in 2 hours of work, command prompt, and you ran your bot. Heck yeah, it's online. You go over to your server. Our bot's working. We're running our commands. It's working all perfectly fine. And then you close Visual Studio in your command prompt. Everything looks fine and dandy now, but after a few minutes, your bot is going to deactivate, and that is tough. It hurts. It really hurts, especially with us. Whereas we have our welcome messages, and we must make sure that our bot is always running. We don't want to turn it off. So there's a fix for that. Using the website Heroku.com, it is a free server that you can utilize if you are running under 1,000 hours a month, which that's well more than you need. By using Heroku, it is a Linux run server. You can pretty much do whatever you want with your bot, and you can run as heck. I have a bot. Let's go to Carnage. Let's go to Symbiosis Kingdom and check out Carnage. This bot has, I think it's just over 1,000 lines of code last week, so it's perfectly fine. You can do whatever you want with it, but there are some dependencies that you will need. You're going to want to go to Notepad++.org downloads, and you're going to want to download. It doesn't matter which version. I just like to use the latest, but you'll use the Notepad++. You want to download that. Malware free. Don't worry about anything. And then you're going to want to create a Heroku website or a Heroku account. Excuse me. And what that'll look like is you'll come to this website, signup.heroku.com, and this will be linked in the description, so you don't have to find it yourself. But you're going to create an account, and it's going to look like this. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to you're going to put your first and last name, your email address. You don't have to put a company name, your role. I do either hobbyist or student. For this account, I did hobbyist. And once your account is created, you can log in, and you will see this page. And as you can see, our dev bot just went offline. Tough. Sad face. Anyway, so you'll see this page. You won't see dev bot hosting. This is something I created, but you will see a blank page with a dismiss. Let's go ahead and dismiss that, and you'll see new. Go ahead and create new app, and your app name obviously goes here, app name, and you type in blah blah blah, whatever the hell you want. For all intents and purposes, instead of using a space, use a dash, because I'll explain that in a minute. So for this, I will do bot. We'll just use bot hosting. Cool. And it's not available. Makes sense. Bot hosting Heroku. Cool. Awesome. That works. So bot hosting Heroku. You, change your region if you're in Europe or whatever. It's fine. You don't need to add a pipeline. Don't worry about that. Just hit create app, and it'll bring you to this page right here. And this is one more thing you need to download. This beautiful little CLA right here. You're just going to hit that, and it's going to bring you to this page. Excuse me. It's going to bring you to this page, and you're going to do 63-bit. Actually, I'll scroll down a little bit. 63-bit installer rather than 32-bit. So 64, not 32. Once that is downloaded, you'll come back here to this page, and this is where the fun begins. Actually, this song is actually pretty good. Anyway, so we're going to open up our Visual Studio like we normally do. Go to our bot folder. Open folder in File Explorer. Like normal, just do CMD. And we can close that and minimize that. And then we're just going to type in Heroku login. What this is doing is basically talking to the Heroku development and CLI website, saying like, hey, we're wanting to log in on this local folder. So to bring us to this website, we're just going to hit login. It may ask you to put your credentials in, so just go ahead and do that. Once you see logged in, go ahead and close this out and come back to our first page here. And we're going to want to create a single file called our proc file. So what we're going to do is, I can show you right now, we don't have a proc file. What the proc file does, it's going to be read by the resources here eventually. It's going to be read by those resources that this is a file we need to run no matter what. If you're away from your keyboard, if your computer's shut off, basically the Linux server is going to catch this one single line of code inside of this Notepad++ file. It's going to run the single line of code all the time. So we're going to do echo, open our little caret right here, type in proc file, and it says nothing will happen, but when we come back here, we see our proc file now. Go ahead and give that a right click and edit with Notepad++. Delete these two lines of code and type in worker : node index.js, not JAJS. Don't hit enter, don't put a semicolon, just type this in, nothing else, Control S and save. That's all you need. Again, you can go ahead and close that file explorer, come back to our deploy, and then follow the rest of the prompts. So since we already are in our directory that we want to be, we don't need to worry about this CD my project. CD is basically just change directory. So we're going to do git init, so it is initializing, and I had already turned this into an initialized repository. Yours will say something more along the lines of set or initialized GitHub repository in this directory right here. But since I already done this before, it says reinitialize. I'm just showing you how to do this real quick. So do git init. Finally, we'll do Heroku git remote, and what this is doing is it's making sure that the Heroku server is the remote access for this GitHub repository. So it's do git remote -a adding, and then this right here, mine says bot hosting Heroku. Yours is going to say something very different if you named it something else, which I think it will probably force you to, but whatever your application's name is, this is what has to be following this stuff right here. So whatever this says on your end, so if you're following along, whatever it says right here has to be put after this. Do not put mine, it's not going to work. It's going to throw out a heck of errors, but we're going to do bot. So for me, I'm going to do bot-hosting-Heroku, and if it did it properly, it's going to say set git remote Heroku to this file on this website. So all good. So the remote access of Heroku is set to this GitHub repository. So now what we can do is we can do git add period. And what's going to happen once we do this? Okay. Well, so it should have added a bunch of lines of code. I think it's because I already had initialized this into an existing repository. You're going to see many lines of code. But for mine, it probably doesn't because I already had done it before. But we're going to do git commit -am, adding commitment, and you can write make it better, you can write commitment, you can write whatever you want, but I like to be very in depth of what I'm writing, because in industry standard these are called change list descriptions. And say my buddy KV Cook here, who's going to be running these podcasts with me, say he wants to get on this bot and he wants to understand what I'm doing. If all he sees is commit, what the heck does that mean to him? That could mean I'm adding the word commitment right here. It could mean that I am adding a spaghetti command to it. It could mean many different things. And if I'm adding 300 lines of code, we're going to want a lot more than just commit. So we want to be very in depth if multiple people are working on this. So I like to be very attentive for what I'm writing. So what I'm going to write down is committing the bot to the Heroku Linux server. So 3 files changed. Yours is probably going to say, again, since I had already initialized this repository, it'll have a lot more in here. It's basically going to stage every single file that's in this folder. It's going to stage all of them. So you're going to see a lot more than you see than I have right here. So finally what we want to do is we want to do git push, because we're wanting to push all of these staged files, Heroku master. So we're pushing all of these staged files to this master file right here, which is our Heroku server. So we're going to run through this, and it'll go through this little enumerating objects and compressing and all this shindig. And really, we know it worked if we saw this build succeeded right here. If you see that, then bingo, you are in the clear. I'm going to go ahead and close this file explorer once again. I'm going to wait for it to finish building. So give this a few minutes. Perfect. All right, cool. So our bot's still not online. Why is that? Let's go over to our settings. If you do not see this right here, Heroku/Node.js, and I'm sorry for that background Java noise, that's my phone. But if you do not see this, Heroku/Node.js, just go to add build packs, and again, I'll show you what I did. I went to settings, scrolled down to build packs, and add build pack, and just do Node.js right there. Another thing we want to do is we want to come to our overview, configure dynos, and what you're going to see right here is you're going to see web npm start. So this is what only runs once. Anytime we run node period, you're actually running npm start, node package management start. So all these node modules right here, all of those are only being run once. So what we want to do is we want to hit this little pencil, turn that one off. And this, if you remember what we put in our proc file, node index.js. Hit this pencil again and turn that on. And as you can see, it's still 100% free. And what this does is this worker is actually going to constantly be running. And if you see, our dev bot just turned on. So if I come in here, type in hello there. So our bot runs by itself, and I did not need to put in node period. So let's say I want to do an edit. I want to create a new command here. Let's just call it ye. We're going to offer our breakpoint right there. We're going to come into our commands. We're going to right click, add a new file, and we're going to call this ye.js. And just to make this simple, I'm going to copy and paste everything from our hello.js file into here. And like I said in the previous video, naming conventions are key. So this is ye. Description. When I say ye, you say ha. And then in our message.send, let's just do ha with a little cowboy right there. Cool. Save that file. Again, Unicode characters, don't worry about that. Copy and paste this, and like I just said, naming conventions are key. So ye right there. And so here's where it gets different. So we still want to open up our command prompt, but rather than just running node period, I mean, we could still run node period, but what you're going to see here is if I run this new command, it just does ha once. But if I run any other commands, it says it twice. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that does not happen. And this is why we're hosting the bot now. So we're going to come back to our command prompt here, and not node.js. First we want to do something. We're going to do git add /commands /ye.js. So did not like that. I think it's been a second since we've added commands. ye.js. Yes, okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure you're grabbing the right file that you want to add. So you're going to do git add commands / ye.js. So it's saying, what are we adding? We're adding this file right here. So what we want to do now is we want to do git commit am, adding a yeehaw command, committing new files to master. Like I said, you don't have to be specific. I just like to do it because it makes it easier for myself as well to read. I'm gonna hit enter, and so what it's gonna say is it's adding 12 files. It's not really, to you it's not gonna say 12 files, but to the computer and to the hosting it's going to read 12 because there's different meta files that you need to upload. There's different contingencies and dependencies that need to be uploaded, but you're only seeing one file be uploaded. That's fine. If it says 12, by all means, don't freak out. But so we just did git commit one more time, git push Heroku master. It's gonna run through all its little thing right here. So far, so good. Build succeeded, perfect. And if we come over to our bot, let's make sure we still see both of them. So it just finished running and our bot is still online. Perfect. So now what happens if I type in hello? Only sends it once, but it still also sends the yeehaw. So perfect. Everything works perfectly fine. So quick little recap of what we just did. We had created a Heroku account. We deployed our application to the Heroku and GitHub master. We set Heroku to be the remote control of the GitHub repository, and we pushed a new edit and a new command to the file and to the master. If by any chance you were unable to understand what completely went on in this video, if you have any questions, please feel free to join this Discord server. I will be more than happy to assist you in any sort of issues that you have. Just go ahead and feel free to @Christian King right here. That's myself. Also, KV Cook here, he's going to be doing some Unreal tutorials soon, and I am going to be starting some Unity tutorials soon, so just be on the lookout for all of that. But I'm very happy that you were with me so far. The next video, which will be very shortly, will be uploaded very shortly, is going to be learning all about embedded messages. Also, how to create a roles. So if I were to create a roles channel right here under rules, if there was a message in here and you react to that rule or react to that message, you can give yourself your own personal roles. But yeah, keep on the lookout for that. Like I keep saying, October 3rd, right here, 2020, is when our first podcast goes live on Twitch. We hope to see you there. That will be at noon Eastern time zone. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to join the server or go ahead and hit a comment down below. And if you like this channel so far and you like this series so far, please feel free to give this video a like and hit that subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can see more content like this. But yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.